Hey, and good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Beyond the Booth. I'm the Howard Cheney here, along with, of course, Phil Harris is on here all the time. On here a little bit earlier with a gentleman from Sequatchie County, but right now we're here and we're focused on Fort Payne Wildcats with Connor and Dax. Guys, thanks for joining us tonight. And I know it's been a busy day, but thanks for taking the time to join us.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Thank you
sir.
for having us.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Hey, no problem, guys. We're gonna get started with a lot of questions here. We'll get you out here pretty quick because what is it? 2 more sleeps till the school starts back on Wednesday.
Yes,
That's right.
sir.
So let's ask you real quick, as far as the senior year coming up and all that. Do you kind of know what y'all want to major in when you go to college? We'll start with you, Dax.
No, sir, not really. I've always since I've been little, just football, football, football. Next level in college, but obviously senior year approaches. I've been thinking about it more. I like to, I've had several thoughts about physical therapist or like a coach, like my dad, or a pastor. So I know those things are kind of like a wide variety. I haven't limited myself yet, but that's kind of where my head's at with just some basic thoughts.
That's yeah, it is kind of a wide variety there from being physical therapy up to a pastor. So that's pretty cool. Connor, how about yourself?
We've narrowed it down a little bit. I think I've applied to some colleges now as possibly majoring in history and possibly minoring in physical therapy, somewhere along those lines there.
That'd be cool. So, if you joined us last time, Connor was on here probably about 2 months ago, and he's talking about his teammates and everything, and uh, Connor being the kicker, Dax being the quarterback. But Dax is also Connor's right hand man as far as being a holder as well. So, Connor, tell us kind of what Dax means to you as far as being able to kick the field goals and everything.
Uh, Pretty much. I trust that he's going to have it down there. If it's a bad snap or not, I know it's going to be there. And so I just have full faith that he's going to have it there when I need it to be there so I can hit it and make it.
So, Dax, are you ever scared that he's going to misfire every once in a while and hit that finger or hit that hand?
No, sir. Actually, when I started my freshman year, that was the thing where I was kind of like, I don't know, and it wasn't with Connor at that point, but that was just in general. But now, that don't even go through my mind now. I just know he's always going to have a clean hit on the ball, and I just got to put it on the tee where he wants me to, and then we're going to be good from there. So that I don't ever think about that.
Yeah, back then you were holding for one of the McPhersons, correct?
Yes, sir, Alex.
Alex. So who actually kicks the ball harder, Alex or Connor?
Well, they're honestly really about the same. Right now, with Connor, we got a little bit of a school record going. We're hoping we can keep going this year with what is it, like consecutive makes or yeah. So last year, we were 100%. So like even Alex, he does have a great leg and everything, but their strengths are similar, and Connor's also super accurate, just like Alex. So we hope to continue that this year.
Can What was the big difference from holding for Alex compared to Connor? Was there anything you had to change from one to the other?
No, sir. I feel like it was about the same. Connor obviously learning off of Alex, so kind of had the same kind of technique, I guess you would say, and so it was easy just to pick up with Connor, just like Alex. And obviously, it came fast. You have to build a little bit of chemistry there. Obviously between me and Connor and whoever's kicking. So that came quick, and we're just picked right back up with it, just like it was with Alex. So.
And so not only do you hold for him, but I think Connor told me, if I remember right, on some of the 7-on-7s or some of the practices, he centers the ball to you sometimes.
That's right. Yeah. So when we're doing the 7-on-7, and Connor, they may have like an off period where they're not kicking. Definitely, he's one of the best ones. I can snap the ball back there, get it back in a spiral, get it back fast. So they're like, yeah, Connor, I want you to do it because you're getting the ball back there better than whoever else I can find. So yeah, he's definitely good. Who I look to when I'm trying to get a center for 7-on-7.
Right? That's great that y'all work together, and not only just on the field, but off the field, y'all are pretty good friends as well.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
That's awesome. Well, I know QSB, Mr. Phil Harris, the '84 state champion from Valley Head, has got a lot of questions for you. So if he gives you some advice, be sure to listen to it because he's been there, he's done that, he's got the championship ring to prove it. So Phil Harris, take it away, buddy.
Yeah, I don't know as much as he tells you. But guys, I want to ask you this first thing right off. What is it like to play for Coach Elmore?
Well, for me, I really enjoy playing for Coach Elmore, there's nowhere else I'd rather be under a different coach. Um, me and him have a great relationship. Me being the quarterback, and just we've built that over years, where I can go to him with anything. We talk about anything. He's obviously super clever, great mind as far as each week with the offense. And it's really nice that to play under him just because of the relationship we have, where we can bounce ideas off each other, talk about different things. And he also cares a lot more about, than just me and playing football. He cares about me as a person.
What about you, Connor?
I kind of go with that too. He really lets me go off and do what I need to work on, and don't force me to do things that I don't need to work on as much. Lets me go off to the side and focus on the little things with kicking that I need to focus on to help me get better. And I know he trusts me when I go into the games. So I just because of all the work I put in and his trust, I know that I can go out there and hit or miss. He'll still trust me to go out there and do it again. If I miss the field goal, he trusts me that the next time I'll make it.
Well, I want to ask you about this. Of course, since y'all have been at Fort Payne, y'all seen a lot of changes as far as facilities go. Got a nice football field now. Of course, now there's a nice baseball, softball, now a new gym's going up. A lot of good things happening for Fort Payne in the community. And y'all have kind of seen this grow up. And I guess you guys understand, and the community understands this. Sports is an investment now, because it's nice for you young men to have nice facilities to play
in. Yes, sir. That's for sure. We're extremely blessed, and that's been something I'm glad we kind of been a part of. Hopefully, try to make that more important. We're having some success. Will lead to bigger and better things. Is what we've seen, and obviously our turf field's super nice. I love it, and it was one of the nicest out there. And we're also getting a new jumbotron that's going up right now. It's supposed to be the second biggest in the state, and that's supposed to be ready to go for the first game. So we're incredibly blessed and have a good administration that's community that's willing to support us and give us those things.
You, Connor, you got a little bit to add to that?
I know all the new things going up. The turf field is really nice, especially during soccer season. And even just out here during practices, the wood pellets are nice because they aren't as hot. So it just feels better on your feet all the time. And all the new facilities, especially the new scoreboard going up, is going to be really nice.
Well, how does that affect your kicking? Do you kick? I think we've talked about this before. Do you kick off a tee, or do you try to kick mostly off of the ground since you have a good surface to kick off of?
During the football season, I'll kick off of the about quarter-inch, half-inch block to give Dax a good area to place the ball down, just so it's easier. But off the season, when I'm just kicking off the ground, it is also a good surface to kick off of because it's nice and flat, and it's more similar to grass than the like black rubber pellets will be.
Of course, you two, you both play football, but also you play other sports. Dax, I know you're an outstanding baseball player. And then Connor, of course, you play soccer. But Dax, your dad is the baseball coach. And of course, he also is an assistant football coach. What is it like playing for your dad?
I think it's awesome. I like having, us kind of going through it together. As one, he being like a huge part of my journey playing sports. And, his father was a coach too, so he got to play under him. So I think it's really cool, the relationship we built, and obviously, how much he invests into it as well, and to get me better. It's really fun. Because you want to do it for him. He takes my dreams and ambitions and makes them his, and it's really like an honor to be out there on the field with him each and every time. Just obviously wanting to make him proud. As a father and a coach, and like football, him being co-defensive coordinator, it's really fun because I'm the quarterback. So they're obviously at practice. We'll be cutting up with each other, going back and forth. He'll be trying to stop me, and I'll throw a touchdown and say something to him. So it's really fun out there. We're just kind of scheming off of each other and having a good time with it. So I enjoy it.
So I take it y'all have a good relationship off the field, that you kind of put the football and baseball aside. And what do y'all do when you're not involved in sports, how are you close to your dad? What do y'all do when you're away from the sports?
Yes, sir. So, church is obviously a big thing. Our faith, him leading me in that aspect, and also like we love to hunt and fish, and so like that's a good thing way for us. Maybe during football season, I've always grown up deer hunting with him, and we'll go and that's just a time to get in the woods, kind of get away from football and sports, just to let our minds reset. And so that's something. Those are like big things we do outside of football that we enjoy, or any sports, football or baseball.
Yeah, so he encourages in every way he can. That's good. That's good that coaches are able to, because sometimes, coach can be a little hard on their son. And of course, I guess you expect that, though, in some instances, because sometimes you're dependent on to being a coach on the field, baseball and football.
Mm-hmm. Yes, sir. I really do appreciate it. That's the case because, my dad knows, me wanting to play the next level, what it's going to take. And so he's pushed me as hard as I need to be pushed to accomplish those dreams and goals. And so I enjoy it and I like it, and I don't want it any other way. I'm glad that he pushes me, coaches me hard, because I know that ultimately is going to get me where I want to go.
Well, Connor, you playing soccer and also playing football. Did you kind of get your start in playing soccer to get your spot? Kind of making it onto the football field with soccer first.
Soccer. I played soccer all my life, and coming in seventh grade, I didn't really think about kicker. I just had always wanted to play football too, and so I kind of just started as a wide receiver. But then I just kind of thought about it and just wanted to try kicking after playing soccer. Just wanted to see how I could do at it, and that's just kind of after I learned that there was a lot of the same motions and it was very similar. I just really enjoyed it.
Yeah, of course. I mean, you had some good mentors in the McPhersons. I'm sure they had a lot to do with your development.
Yes, sir. Of course, Alex played soccer too, so he had a lot of the same, like fundamental basics to kicking from soccer. So I kind of just fell in like that, using a lot of the same things that he did, because he came from a soccer background too a little bit. So I came in with my soccer background, just kind of continued how he kicked and kind of just picked up his same form and everything.
Well, let's get into football a little bit. Of course, last year you guys made it to the second round of the playoffs. And that's something I guess you had heard of this, because we even talk about it. Fort Payne has had some great teams in the past, but it seems like that monkey on their back is they couldn't get out of the first round of the playoffs. What it mean to you guys just to get out of that first round? Because, that was a monumental win for this program last year.
Yes, sir. It definitely was. Definitely felt that way in the locker room and the community, and that was just a really big stepping stone for us. And letting everyone around, especially the community, knowing that we can do it. And so that ultimately, that's last year, but I think that propels us forward for this year. With changing people's mindset that we can be a football team that can make it deep in the playoffs. And that was such a big goal last year. Making it past that round to let people know and let the community get behind us for those later rounds. And this year, we want to keep building off of that. So I think it was definitely huge for us last year to get that first round win.
Well, of course, both of you can answer on this one. I think, Coach Elmore don't shy away from competition. He schedules the, top-notch schools. And, you may see, sometimes, maybe May Jemison and Lee and some of them, Hazel Green struggles a little bit, but you play against some really good athletes. Even though their teams may not be great, on a given night, they can give you a fit. So that prepares you in the 6A. Because there's a big difference in playing 5A football and 6A football, especially when you've got that nemesis out there, Gadsden City.
Yes, sir. And that's always kind of the approach we've always taken is, you want to be one of those top guys and top teams, and you want to make it to where the top teams play, and that's ultimately, playing them in the regular season obviously definitely helps with that. Gives you experience playing those caliber of teams.
Yeah, well, Connor, I guess you've seen the same types of things. You've watched this team grow. And I'm sure you think just like they do. We want to take that next step. We want to get past round number 2, because I know this is a goal for this team. They got the monkey off their back, and and you kind of look at things now as why not us?
Mm-hmm. Yes, sir. It helps build confidence among like players. Like some players may not think, "Oh, we're going to get to round 1 and we aren't going to win," but then with that win, it will build confidence for even some of the players in the locker room to say that we can get past round 1, and it will have more people try maybe harder in practice, as to where this year we can go farther than just round 2.
Yeah, that'll be outstanding. Of course, Dax, you had an outstanding year last year. I know you threw for about some was 3,600 yards and 31 touchdowns. Of course, in the Scottsboro game, y'all had to go all out and spread the field and just start throwing the football. But you had a lot of success at it. But defensively, y'all struggled a little bit. But I noticed early in the season, you had a big numbers. And then toward the end of the year, it seems like your team improved defensively. And that was huge because you and I know that if you can't stop people, you're going to be in a whole lot of trouble. Offense can be inconsistent sometimes, but this team really improved on the defensive side of the football throughout the season. You had to have seen that.
Yes, sir. Of course, and that was the thing. Our defense never let anything get to them. We all went out there. They went out there each and every day, and I got to watch them. Get better each and every week, and build that confidence and trust in between one another. And they worked super hard, and definitely a compliment to them. And the same this year. They're gonna be ready to go both sides of the ball. They've done really really good job this summer. Doing some different things, and I'm really excited to see them this year for sure. I got a lot of confidence and faith in them for this year.
Yeah, of course.
Hey, Dax, let me ask the question real quick, Phil. You said that the lights went out in Fort Payne.
Yeah, we got to move because a lot of times they'll go off. So
all right. So Dax, you mentioned a little bit earlier about you and your dad go tongue in cheek a little bit as far as giving each other a hard time at practice. So did you throw up 30 or 40 points on somebody this year and walk over to the sideline since your dad's a defense coordinator and said, "Come on, Pops, hold them a little bit, help us out a little bit."
not during the game. The week I pretty much knew, Friday nights I just needed to keep taking care of the offense and what I could control and just kind of let him, handle the defense. So.
Go ahead, Phil. I just want to throw that out there. It's got to be great being able to be on the same team that your dad coaches and be able to kind of joke around about stuff like that as well. So, Phil, I'm sorry. Go ahead, man.
Oh, that's fine. All right, well, Connor, I want to ask you this. Of course, your biggest job is kicking the football. You want to flip ends of the field. Anytime you get in scoring position, you want to put points on the board. But sometimes you have to be the best, the biggest cheerleader on the sidelines because you need the defense to get the offense points so that you get your turn, so to speak.
Yes, sir. When the defense stops someone down closer, that means, of course, I have more of an opportunity to go out and kick a field goal instead of us having to punt the ball away if it has to be a long drive. And, of course, anytime a lot of the guys blocking for me on field goals, offensive linemen and everything, every time that they block and don't let someone get to me and hit me, got to cheer for them because they're keeping me protected to be able to. And of course, when the offense is doing good and getting down the field, it makes my night easier just having to go out there and kick extra points.
Well, guys, tell me this. Tell me about your coaches. I mean, they don't get a whole lot of credit. You hear Coach Elmore's name, but there's a lot of assistants. And of course, Dax, you can talk, about your dad naturally. But tell me some of the coaches, that mean a lot to you guys because a lot of them have been around at Fort Payne for a long time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, all of them mean a lot to me. Obviously, growing up around most of them. And I could say things about Coach Kemp, Coach Prater, Coach Thomas, Coach Phillips, all of them. But really, just in general, they're all just great men. Men first. That says a lot. They all have great character. They all lead by example, and they all show up each and every day. Giving their best. You never think it's about them or something else, or they came to practice and they don't feel good. Every day they're always here for us, and they want to get out of the way So just ultimately just make us better so that we can be the best football team we can be. And they bring their best every single day and truly care about us.
Well, I'm going to ask you one more question. I'll let Howie ask a few, and then we'll go on to other things. One thing you guys do on road games is when you win, you come back through town and you make that special trip through town. That has to be exhilarating for you guys. I know when I played at Valley Head, when we played like over at Sandrock and Spring Garden, we would do that. We would purposely come back through Fort Payne, but it's a happening now for Fort Payne High School. That has to be a thrill for you guys.
Yes, sir. Because it don't matter how far away the game is or how late at night we're getting back. The streets are always going to be lined, and people's going to be cheering for us every night that we win. It don't matter if it's 2 a.m. in the morning. There's going to be people out there. So it's just really nice to come back through the middle of town and see the community supporting us after big road wins.
Yeah, and I definitely agree with Connor on that. That's one of the biggest things. Yes, it's fun to ride back through town, but also just to see everyone that is giving up time in their night just to come out there and just cheer us on as we ride by. It really means a lot to see those people, that we have people behind us and supporting us in the community.
How are you going to ask a couple of things?
Yeah, it's kind of like a little impromptu parade there on a Friday night on a victory night. So maybe y'all ought to start putting some candy on the bus there, and then when you go through, just kind of toss it out to some of the people standing on the streets there.
That's right. What now if we put some candy on the bus, and that'll help us get some more wins on the roads when we come back and throw it out. That'd be great. Maybe
Yeah,
give out a lot of candy.
yeah, but with all those kids on there, how long you think that candy's really going to last on the bus ride back home?
After a game, I don't know. Most of it probably ate.
So let me ask you, y'all are part of the units team and everything. How much time do y'all get at practice as far as to actually work together? Because Dax, I know you're with the offense a lot. So how much time do y'all get for reps and all that during practice?
It changes from day to day. Usually it's right at the end of the practice. We'll get anywhere 5 to 15 minutes of practice just together. And then, of course, there's lots of days that we stay after and get some extra practice in. So it ranges from time to time. It's day by day depending on how practice is going and what's scheduled for practice. But it can be anywhere from just a few reps to quite a few reps.
Yeah, like I said, most of our stuff's at the end of practice. Work on the PAT and stuff, and obviously the kickoffs and everything is built into practice. But Wednesdays is kind of like our walkthrough days and getting ready. So that, like, special teams is emphasized on Wednesdays a lot. We'll be doing like PAT sometimes first, and also, like Connor said, we get, Coach Elmore will make sure we stay the operations after practice and get as many reps as Connor needs. I need, our snapper Malcolm needs to, until we feel good about it.
You are coming in with a new snapper this year. How big of a difference is that going to make so far that you've noticed?
The first day he came, I had to change my timing just a little bit because it, of course, was just a little bit different from last year. But now, after a few days of practice, it just feels the same. It's another snap coming in. I know about how fast he's going to get there and when I need to go. But after you get the adjustment period over, it all feels the same.
And location obviously is a very big part of it, but really a big emphasis is the spiral of the ball. The cleaner the snap is, the better spiral. It's easier to catch, to make a cleaner hold. And Malcolm, he definitely does a great job with that, getting some nice spirals back there to make it easy to catch and get down on the tee.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I was calling it the units team earlier, but it is the operations team. My fault, guys. I'm sorry about that. I know y'all take pride in that. So you do have a center that's going to be regular, because I kind of heard a couple of weeks ago it was still kind of up in the air as far as there's a couple of guys that's kind of trying out for it, but you've got one that you're happy with right now.
Yes, sir.
So Dax, is he putting it right where your hands is at every time, or are you having to move any?
I'll have to move some. Not everyone can be perfect, but every time, we've never, what we call fire is when it's a bad snap and I have to roll out, and try to throw it, which it turns into two for that. At that point, if we ever have a bad snap where I can't get it on the tee quick enough for Connor, and we practice those at practice in case that were to happen. But so far on just a normal PAT, we haven't had to do that. So he's been having great locations of snaps, and for us to be able to get the time off him. We've been timing them, and Connor's been doing a great job. We have a good operations time.
I kind of want to ask this question, but I don't want to give away too much information. But Connor, when the fire is uh, hollered out and the snap is bad, Connor, what do you do on that fire operation, that fire drill there?
I kind of have a job I'm supposed to do,
Okay.
but it kind of make it up as I go along, just depending on what it just changes from time to time.
Yeah, great answer. That you did answer the question without answering it, so I appreciate that. We actually had a kid on here from Sylvania, I think 2 years ago, and we asked him about something, or Randy did, and he started giving away the game plan for that week. And
Oh, man.
Coach Van had like, "What are you talking about? You know what you're talking about." So we had to shut him down real quick. But you did answer the question without answering it, so I appreciate that, Connor. So, first game coming up. Do y'all play a jamboree this year, or do y'all just open up with Scottsboro?
We start with Albertville next Thursday.
So you got the jamboree. Where's it going to be played at?
At Albertville.
At Albertville. Do y'all play Albertville, or is it going to be a split game between 2 or 3 different teams?
We play Albertville.
Okay. Good deal. Phil, what you got for these young men?
I want to ask you, Coach Elmore, is he big on routine, keeping you guys in routine every day and every week?
Yes, sir. He likes getting the routine, especially our practice stuff. So we adjust, what we need to adjust, make the improvements we need to, and be more efficient. But once he finds a good routine, that's good for us. Especially with the weight room, that in-season program we start, we keep and practice with practice schedules and just everything from a game day feel. Just everything we do, he does like the routine.
Yeah, I know. I've spoke with Coach Elmore several times. He's well spoken. I enjoy talking to him. Very smart, and very open. He's very honest with you, and I think you guys appreciate that.
Yes, sir, we do. But if I know that if I'm having a bad day in practice, then he'll tell me that it's not my best day, but he still trusts me that it's going to be better tomorrow or later in practice. And also, if I'm having a good day or do something really good, he's going to tell you that you did good right there.
Yeah, just like Connor said, it's definitely obviously, he will hold me accountable, and we'll talk about things. He'll ask me what I see here when I made this throw or made this decision. He'll correct me and be the good coach that he is, but also the same Connor was talking about. When you do have a good day or you do something good, he makes sure he points that out. Cheers you on for doing that and keeps encouraging us.
Coach Dax, I want to ask you about this. Of course, you play football and you play baseball. You play shortstop, I think it is, on the baseball team. Do you have a preferred sport, or are you just kind of sort of keeping your, options open on what the future holds for you if you're going to play at the next level?
Yes, sir. I would prefer football, but baseball has been a big part of my life too, growing up, and so I haven't really went down that path. But if there was opportunities that came up for me in baseball, that might outweigh the football a little bit, or a little bit of a better spot. I definitely wouldn't. I wouldn't mind taking that. Because I obviously love baseball too. I would prefer football, but I'd still keep everything open as far as going to the next level. Playing either.
Of course, I know you guys both have had a lot of interest from schools, and you both can answer this. Are some schools kind of sort of on that where they tell you we want to wait to see your senior film before the commitments to you start? Have both of you seen that?
Yes, sir. There's been a couple of schools that's told me they're like, we aren't exactly sure about scholarships or anything yet, but send film throughout the season, and we'll just kind of keep talking to you from there. And by times during the season, we'll kind of know more about scholarships.
And for me, a lot of it is, talking with these coaches. There's several schools that I'm talking with right now that just, like, hey, look, you're on our 2025 QB board. We're interested in you, but we're going to evaluate those first 3 games, and then obviously the rest of the season, and kind of out of the people that we're really looking at, and then choose who we want to offer from there. So.
Well, you two guys are perfect people to ask. If young men are watching this and they're wanting to get recruited in the future, you know as well as I do, a coach can only do so much. Film only says so much. The most important thing nowadays in recruiting is staying in communication with the schools who are recruiting you. Build relationships because that's where the interest comes from. If they like you, they're going to recruit you.
Yes, sir. That's why I'm really grateful for my dad. He helps me a lot with that, and it's keeping in touch with those coaches. And obviously, I have a good trainer, Ben Neal from Quarterback Country in Birmingham. He does a lot for me, reaching out to coaches, talking to coaches about me, and that is a big part of it. You can't just you have to put yourself out there and try to reach those coaches, not just let them try to come find you. So you definitely have to make yourself relevant to those coaches and build that relationship like you talked about.
Let's talk about the upcoming season. Of course, you start off the regular season with Scottsboro, play for the Top Cat Trophy. That's always a huge game for both schools to start the season. Do y'all have goals you set or expectations going into the season? And tell me a little bit about that. And also tell me some names of some of the guys you guys are counting on because, I know your teammates love to hear their names. So point out a few guys that you're counting on to play big roles in this 2024 season.
Some goals I guess I have is just to, like, I always say try to be about 85 or 90% on field goals because that's about the NFL average field goal range. And just guys I'm looking to play big roles. Of course, on the special teams is Malcolm and Dax to have a good snap, and Dax have the good hold there like he always does. And on offense, no, Dax will play a big role like he did last year. And with Brandon at receiver, I know really all the guys on offense are going to do well. And then over on defense, no, Carter Tinker at middle linebacker will do well like he did last year. And Connor Kinsley at corner and Luke at safety. And the whole defensive line just stopping the runs like they did last year.
Yeah, as far as team goals, we all have if you ask any one of our players or coaches in the locker room, we'd be able to talk about our team goals. Coach Elmer did a good job of establishing that, allow us to have a clear vision for the year, know what we want to achieve. So obviously, we want to get that Top Cat trophy back. We want to win the region this year. Gaston City's won it the past 2 years. That's a big goal for us, and go 10-0 in the season and make the deepest run we can in the playoffs. And then for me, personal goals, I want to have over 3,000 yards passing, 70% completion percentage and higher. And a couple guys I like to shout out, obviously my O-line, Malcolm Jackson, Jaden Jackson, Grayson Hester, Blake King, and Hunter Burridge. Those guys I couldn't do without them. I love those guys. And, sometimes at practice, it may not be the most fun thing for them to do, doing all the drill work for offensive linemen, but they definitely put in the time. And I appreciate them. And obviously Brandon, playing a key role this year. And, Connor shout out a lot of them too with our running backs, Caden Adam, Carter Blaylock, and Blake Grease, Ryder Shangles in the slot. And, coming to replace Nolan, this year, Fisher Abbott and Kyle Kiminetti is working back from injury right now. Those two guys are going to play a big role in our offense this year. And, he talked about a lot about the defensive guys, but several other guys, Riker Engel, Cooper Jackson, they're going to be juniors this year. Riker Engel, outside linebacker, that weak safety, and then Cooper Jackson at our corner, our other corner spot alongside Connor Kinsley on the other side of the field. They'll have big roles this year to step into.
Well, I want to ask you this. Any team, if you're going to be successful, you have to have great leadership. And you have to be a player-driven football team. Do you think this team, especially with the success you had last year getting to the second round of the playoffs, is the leadership good? Are you guys ready to take that next step?
Yes, sir. I think we have a lot of guys that want to do the right thing and have bought into the program and stepping up and leading the younger guys and showing them the way and obviously being real vocal about what we want to do and get done and being the leader in the ways that we need to get those things done.
I want to ask both of you this, and of course I'll let Howie kind of take over. But Dax, do you have a memorable moment during your high school football career where a play or maybe a drive really stands out?
For me, it would probably be last year when we ran the Rosie play, trick play.
Yes.
That was definitely memorable, just to be a part of something. And I think, that kind of get viral. I don't know the words you would use. That little video of us running that play last year, we got a lot of attention from that, and that was just real cool to like do something that the Kansas City Chiefs did. That that's not. You don't see that a lot, and I think I went to a game visit that next day at South Alabama, and I was in the locker room pregame, and one of their quarterbacks before they started their meeting started talking to me, and he saw my Fort Payne shirt, and he said, "I saw that play y'all ran Rosie." He said that was awesome. That was just cool to know that he knew about that, and so that was definitely memorable, and just the excitement I felt as I snapped the ball and saw Carter Tinker open, and that we actually pulled it off. That's probably one of my most memorable plays.
Yeah, that's outstanding. Who come up with that play and decided to run it?
Yeah, Coach Elmore, that's something the Kansas City Chiefs run, and that's a trick play that he put in, I believe, and we would run it on Wednesdays before practice, and he said we were going to use it, and we just tried to run it as good as we could in practice and get ready for when he called it in the game, and it's a different excitement in the huddle when he first called Rosie, just to get the guys to be like, finally we're getting to do this, and the reaction from the sideline was pretty cool too. Like, oh, okay, we're actually running this play. So,
yeah, and I got to see it, and it was just amazing. I mean, it was amazing to see. Well, Connor, do you have a kick in a certain game that's memorable for you?
Well, of course, I think it was against Athens. My longest field goal of 45 yards last year. That was my longest career kick. So that's a obviously memorable kick. But then there was another. It was an onside kick against Lee, I believe, that we received, and it was just exciting because I kicked it and I saw it bounce. I just saw it going into his hands, and we got the ball back. It was an exciting play that I'm glad it worked, and it was just fun to have it happen.
Well, I want to ask you guys this, and I'll turn it back over to Howie. How important is the community support? I know, your parents are important, fans are important, and give a shout out to the fans because, without them, this game would not be a whole lot of fun if you just had to go out there and you didn't have them to support you on Friday nights. So I know you guys want to have those stands full. I know you travel well. You want to have those stands full every Friday night at Fort Payne because this could be a special year.
Yes, sir, and we're very optimistic. It's going to be a special year. So, like you said, shout out all the fans and everyone that supports us, and we love how much it means to all the fans. They don't just show up just to watch the game; they show up actually caring with excitement, and that's a big thing because, like you said, we couldn't do anything we're doing and have the atmosphere we want without the fans. So they play a very huge role. What goes on here on a Friday night, and especially when we travel to. So I'm just very grateful for the supporters that we do have and how much they care and how many people the community really care about Fort Payne Wildcat football.
What about you, Connor? Let you add.
It's always exciting to see all the fans in the stadium. I mean, especially all the time I spend on the sideline, just like look back there and see how almost everywhere is full in the stadium. And especially with all the fundraising, the fans really help support us to be able to get us food in the mornings or get us new equipment every year. So it's just really helpful to be able to help fund all these new projects for the sports facilities and just help get us food and anything we need for the football season.
Before I actually turn over to Hal, I want to give you, both, a hand of advice, and I'm sure you've heard this from your coaching staff. This is your last year. Going into the season, cherish every moment. I mean, because this is the last time you're going to do a lot of things. So cherish every moment, cherish every memory, because they go by really, really fast. So I hope you guys, have a great year. I'm looking forward to covering you, on scoreboard naturally. And I want to thank you very much for coming on. You guys both did well. I'm proud of you.
Yes, sir. Thank you for having us.
Yes, sir. Thank you for the advice and getting on here and taking the time to ask us questions. We enjoyed it.
Yeah. Go ahead.
So Phil gave you some advice. So I want to ask y'all if y'all would give advice to the underclassmen as far as you're entering your senior year. Do you have any words of wisdom you'd like to give the underclassmen of Fort Payne that's coming up?
I just say enjoy all of it because it goes by pretty quickly. So just enjoy every moment you have, even on the hot practices that you don't really want to be there, because eventually they won't be there.
Yeah, and that's a good point. My biggest thing is I like to try to leave behind, words of just like belief and confidence. If you can build that, Tom Brady has a quote: "If you don't believe in yourself, why should anyone else believe in you?" And as a quarterback, I take that to heart because trying to command the offense, I have to believe in myself first before those guys are going to believe in me to get the job done. So I think just to leave the underclassmen with that, just to have the confidence in yourself to know, you control, what your ability as far as it can take you, and you can go do what you want to do no matter what everyone else says. And and when things don't go your way, me and Connor, we're sitting here, trying to figure out where we're going to go to college for next year. But we both put our head down and just go to work and grind and try to take care of what we can control. And that's just the thing that I like to leave with them is, just take care of what you can control. And then, Coach Elmer always preaches like good things will happen to good guys. Just try to the younger guys, the underclassmen, just stay the course, do what you're supposed to do the right thing, show up, and let the rest take care of itself.
Hey, well, Dad's going to be proud of that speech. You're definitely a coach's son.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
We've made the moms cry enough already because of the last senior year and all that stuff. So let's get on to some fun questions real quick, guys. Let's say we're gonna go get something to eat real quick. We get in Dax's vehicle. Dax, what music's gonna be playing in your vehicle?
Right now it's probably just going to be just some Christian music going. Before like if we're going on to workouts or practice or something, I might have some Christian rap going in there, something with a little more upbeat. But that's probably what's going to be playing in my truck on my way home.
All right, Connor, how about yourself?
Probably country music.
Okay, we're going to go get something to eat. We're in Fort Payne, and what time is it now? It's 9:00. We'll say everything's still open. Connor, where are we going to go eat at?
Either Mickasita or Chick-fil-A.
Dax, how about you, buddy?
I'm going to go Mickasita, Toke, or Cracker Barrel.
I'm not going to ask. I'm not going to ask Connor this question because I asked him last time and I laughed for about 10 minutes. So I'm just going to ask Dax this. Do you look at Connor laughing about it? Dax, do you have any pregame superstitions, rituals you got to do before you hit the field?
Not really. I'm not real superstitious guy, but also, I mean, what's really important to me though, that's kind of like a must do is walk the field. Whether it's away game or home game. Not everybody walks the field. That's kind of option for us. So kind of something superstitious for me is you got to walk the field, and I'll go to both the goalposts and pray at each one. And that's something that I do. That's like every week. That's got to happen for me. But other than that, nothing else really.
And if anybody wants to know Connor's answer, go back to the previous episode and because I still laugh every time I think about it. So I'm sure that y'all listen to music before the game starts. What are you listening to before the game starts? And Dax, will start with you.
Going into it, I'll probably be listening to some like Christian rap, but then like closer than game time, I try to slow it down. Me and Blake Griggs kind of have some of the, obviously we have rap going in the weight room, but something that I'll have on my own AirPods is just like some slower Christian music, just to like calm my mind. Because obviously, as a quarterback, linebacker and quarterbacks can go out there very, very differently. They can be all amped up, souped up, ready to go. Me, I got to stay calm, collective, and be locked in. So kind of like that type of music, sometimes helps calm me down to keep me like locked in and make sure I'm not, getting too crazy excited, but just keeping my mind locked in, ready to go, and thinking about the things that I need to do. So that type of music right before the game kicks off helps me.
Connor?
Hours before the game, it'll be different. Sometimes I'll listen to country music or I'll fall asleep or watch a movie. But then right as I go out there to start kicking, usually there's from the speakers and the sound system and pregame, there's rap or whatever music's coming on. That's pretty much what I listen to.
So during the pregame and all that, does Dax go out there and hold for you, or you have someone else that does that?
I go out a lot earlier than everyone else, and I'll start kicking just off my sticks. But then during pregame, when like the full team's out there, Dax will be over there and he'll hold some for me.
Okay, let's switch gears a little bit and talk about school real quick. Connor, who's your favorite teacher?
It was probably Mr. Garrett.
Dax?
Yeah, I'm right there with him. That's my favorite.
So what did he teach?
History.
Okay, so let me ask you, what's your favorite subject, Dax?
Well, my favorite subject's always been math, and then actually talking about Mr. Garrett kind of flipped my favorite to history. Me and Connor's had him for history for the past 3 years, in a freshman world history, and then pre-AP and AP course last year. So I've learned to like history. Kind of took that number one spot for me.
Connor?
I'm right there with Dax. I never actually really enjoyed math, but I've always been liked history.
And Phil, both of these have got teachers in the school system, and neither one of them said their parents was their favorite teacher. So what does that tell you right there, Phil?
Well, I think they want to, they know what their parents mean to them, and they have to deal with them every day at home. So I think a lot of times when that happens, you get to school that sometimes those teachers, since they're their mom or dad, is some things go in one ear and out the other. And when I was a growing up student, that's what it was for me.
Phil, you got any last questions before we let these young men go? I know it's been a long day for them.
Oh, I know it has. I just want to wish them the best. I hope you both have great years. I know your teammates are excited, and I'm sure you would put your personal goals aside to have team goals, because it sure would be nice to walk into Protective Stadium in December and play for a state championship.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Definitely.
So, guys, we appreciate you coming on. Phil's talked about a lot of that's fixing to take place for you, last first game and all that. Don't let this be the last time that you're on our show. Come back anytime you want to. When y'all decide on where you're going to go to college at, if you want, we'd love for you to come on here and announce on here if you wanted to. But if not, we understand. But at least come on and tell us about your decision, where you're going to go to college at, and what made you decide on where you're going. And looking forward to watching y'all play this year. And before we get going, we always ask give a shout out. I know y'all gave shout outs to your teammates and all that. Other than teammates, give a shout out to somebody. Connor, we'll start with you.
Give a shout out to Jesus, the Lord, because without them it wouldn't be possible. I couldn't go out there every Friday night and kick and hit it, because it would nothing of it would be possible without them.
That's right. That's exactly what I was going to say, because he's first and my faith is first, and without God and Jesus, like Connor was saying, I wouldn't be able to do this. But a personal standpoint, Stanley Trotman, my grandfather, one of my biggest supporters, so shout him out there. He means a lot to me, and he really cares a lot about my sport, so just shout him out.
I'll give one more shout out to a person, my grandfather up in Tennessee. It don't matter. He always tries to watch every game on the FPTV. He don't have the best Wi-Fi, but he'll always try to watch it however he can.
Absolutely. And Dax, I know your grandfather you're talking about, Stanley. a big sports fan, one of the biggest sports fans. And if I ain't mistaken, you're an Auburn fan, and I'm not sure how he let you become an Auburn fan because he's one of the biggest Alabama fans there ever is.
I know he let his daughter marry an Auburn fan, and then there he got Auburn grandkids. So
Yeah, I was wondering what happened to Amanda because I remember she was roll tide all the way through school and all that, and then all of a sudden I see her with this awful looking color on, and then I'm like, what happened? So, Connor, can you not do something to them as far as switch them over to the roll tide side, man?
I don't think I can.
Well, guys, we appreciate you joining us tonight. I know it's been a long day. Getting ready to start back to school on Wednesday and everything. Best of luck to you this, not only on the football field but off the field and school activities as well. I've seen both of you grade point averages. I think both of them's around a 4 point something, 4.4, I think. Great jobs on and off the field as well, excelling on and off the field. So, is there any closing remarks that y'all would like to give before we let you get out of here?
like we're
Don't
good.
think so.
Awesome. Great job. Thanks for staying at the field house so late because I know that your practice ended around 7:15, 7:30, something like that. And y'all probably much rather be at home doing something than talking to two old guys here on River City Media. But if you haven't went on River City Media on Facebook or YouTube, please go on there, like, follow, share, spread the word, let everybody know about it. We're up and coming and we got a lot of followers, but there's always room for a lot more. And one last question before we get out of here. How did y'all choose y'all's football number? And it's not going to be something crazy like I've asked in the past. How do y'all choose the number that you're wearing on the football field? And Dak, start with you.
For me, it was really something when I look back on it. Now it's just like number 5. Got out number 5. That's my number, and you're like, well, kind of what even came of that? And there was a guy named Tyler Frable. He played football and baseball at Fort Payne when I was really young. One of the first classes. I'm not sure which one. He graduated from Fort Payne when me and my family moved from Aberville, and he would take me out to eat and take me fishing, and he was a good role model for me growing up as a young boy. I wanted to be like him, and he wore the number 5. So ever since then, when I had my first choice of travel baseball jersey, number was number 5, and ever since then, that's just kind of my number and then what I want to have. But it's from him from a young age, the role model he was to me.
Connor, how about yourself?
Mine was I was just inherited it. Pretty much someone just quit my freshman year, and so I just gained the number 12, and I liked the number, so I've just kept it since then.
Hey, that's a good enough answer, So, hey, that's perfect, guys. Guys, thanks for joining us. You're welcome back on the show anytime. Uh, give us a like, shout out to anybody that'll listen to you. Say, hey, go to River City Media and follow. Thanks for joining us tonight, and best of luck this season, and best of luck with schoolwork and everything. And if we can help you out in any way, let us know. Get in contact with us, let us know, and we'll spread the word.
Yes, sir. Thank
I
Jordan,
mean,
have a good year, and maybe you get WQSP Team of the Week, and me and Jeff will be come visiting you one pep rally on a Friday. That'd be nice to see.
yes, sir.
Yes,
sure,
sir.
sure would. We can't wait.
Awesome. So for our special guests, Connor and Dax, Phil Harris, I'm the Howard Chaney. Thanks for joining us on Beyond the Booth. Good night and God bless everyone.
Sir, thank you.